Greetings to you, and thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful edition of the Regnum Continuous Legal Education. This is one of your favorite programs on Starcross Television, although we took, a break, and let me just say it was really a long break, but we are back. So tell a brother to tell a brother, a sister to tell a sister that we are fully back with the program Regnum Continuous Legal Education, and this is a program you can watch it via YouTube. You can also watch it on our Facebook page. Yes, and on this episode, we will be looking at a very sensitive topic. Yes, this topic concerns both the old, the young, every child, every adult, whatever you want to think of. This is a topic that you must sit very glued to your TV set, because we will be learning one or two from what we will be saying here. I am Peace Smith, reaching out to you on Starcross Television, and to start with, I have wonderful personalities, the ones seated with me here in the studio, and of course the sister joining me via Zoom. And to start with, we have a eminent Sister Juliet Emeke. She is joining us on this episode. Good to have you, sister. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. I'm fine. Thank you, Peace of the Father.
Peace of the Father. How are you? How did your day go? I believe you had a beautiful day.
It was okay. My day was fine. We thank the Father. Thank you.
All right, good to have you once again. And right here in the studio with me, I have Christ Ambassador Roland Osim. Good to have you here, sir. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm fine. Peace of the Father. I'm happy to be here once again, because it has been long. I've not been on
this particular program, right? I understand that you are one of the regular faces for this program. Good to have you here once again.
Thank you.
All right. So now, like I said, we have a very sensitive topic that we will be looking at tonight. And the topic is right to life, legal issues and remedies. I'll have to take that again. The topic is right to life, legal issues and remedies. Now we understand how important the right to life is. One would say that it is a fundamental right when it comes to every national constitution and international human rights treaties. And of course, we understand that it serves as a cornerstone for the protection of human dignity and forms the basic of enjoyment for all other rights. Yes, the right to life, the right to speak, the right to go to church, all is embedded in just one, the right to life. So in this program, we will be exploring it, looking at contemporary issues when you're talking about abortion, when you're talking about child trafficking, when you're talking about issues of, self-defense and all of that. We will be looking at it in this program. Permit me to also state that whatever we will be discussing on this program, whatever questions we will be asking on this program, it is for the benefit of, sending out the right message and adequately informing our audience. So don't take us for it, or don't take me, because I'll be doing the questioning. So you will not say, Sister Peace, why are you asking that question, all right? So let's get to it. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we will look at the topic proper. Stay tuned.
BBCS music. King of kings and Lord of lords, holiness, the supreme judge of the universe, now seated upon the throne, the holy throne of his Father, great leader, Olumbabu. All spirits, seen and unseen, must worship the living Christ, else it will be, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. It will be a bumpy ride. The fury of his judgment is rocking the universe. All over the human race, prejudice prevails. All over the human race, injustice prevails. Genocide and strife, armament and war, preemptive execution is the way of the world. a bumpy ride. It will be, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Fire and flood, infectious diseases are in action. Natural disasters are symptoms of his judgment. Inhabitants of this world recognize his omnipotence. It's gonna be, it's gonna be, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Political insanity is the word of the world. Brotherhood and peace is what we need, because in the world there is no real peace. In the world there is no real peace. It will be a bumpy ride.
Many are called, few are chosen.
Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken and the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken and the other left. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour the Lord cometh. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what wash the thief would come, he would have washed, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore, be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not the Son of Man cometh. In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Many are called, but few are chosen. Many were called, but few are chosen. Many were called, but few are chosen. Many were called, many were called, many were called, but few are chosen. Many were called, but few are chosen. Many were called, but few are chosen.
This new kingdom, we are saved by grace. This new kingdom, we are saved by mercy. Let us be humble. Let us be patient. Let us be silent before the King. I say, let us be humble. Let us be patient. Let us be silent before the King.
Many were called, but few are chosen. Many were called.
Welcome back. This is the program Regnum Continuous Legal Education, and this is the live broadcast. You can watch us on YouTube. You can also watch us on Facebook, and of course our phone line is displayed on your screen, because this topic is a topic that I know, except you just want to sit and listen, this is a topic that you would love to call in, or rather, comment on any of our social media platform and ask a question. And of course, we have experienced personalities who are here, and of course they will try their best to do justice to whatever questions you will be sending in. And now the topic for this beautiful episode is right to life, legal issues and remedies. Now I have joining us also, I have Christ Ambassador Idara Ebu. Good to have you here, sir. Welcome back. How was the trip?
Fine. Peace of the Father to my audience.
I hope you're good.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. So now let's start with understanding what we mean when we say right to life. So I would like to start with Her Eminence Juliet Emeke. Please, ma, what do we mean by right to life, or what do you understand by right to life? Okay, while we are waiting for her to join us, I would like to throw the question to a resource person in the studio with us, starting with Christ Ambassador Roland. When we say right to life, what do you understand by that?
Yes, before we can venture into talking about what right to life is all about, we have to first of all understand what life is all about. What is life? Life is the most important aspect of human being. It is very dear to mankind. And because of that, we have various schools of thought that has their own separate definitions. Like when we talk about religion perceive that that life is of a supernatural origin. Then we look at some philosophers like Plato. Plato says life is attaining the highest knowledge. That when you attain the highest knowledge, then you have life. Then we talk about Aristotle. Aristotle sees life as attaining the highest part of happiness, whereas the naturalists, they said that life is the ability to take care of nature and its environment. Then when we now come to the aspect of what is right to life. Right to life is a phrase that describes the belief that man has right to live and not to be killed by any other man. Man has that ability, has a right to live, to acquire wealth or whatever, and live freely without being interfered by with any other person. Now, you see that without right to life, there is no other right, because right to life is fundamental and it is absolute.
Okay.
Now we can also look at some international treaties like the Universal Declaration of Right, which was enacted by the United Nations General Assembly.
Okay.
And it stated that every person has a right to life, liberty, and security of persons. Then we also have the African Charter for People's Rights. That also was enacted by the AOU in the year 1981. And this also states that every person has right to life, and no person shall be deprived of his life intentionally.
Okay.
Whereas the Constitution, 1999 Constitution of Nigeria, Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended, Section 33, Sub 1, state that every person has right to life, and no one shall be deprived intentionally of his life, except when the person is under execution of a law which is being convicted.
Okay.
So you can now see that right to life is what covers humanity. Prior to this period, you see that people were living in such a way that the strong can execute the weak at any time. Like a king may have a ceremony and will order that how many of his slaves should be killed. Some kings, when they die, they will be buried with live slaves and all that.
Okay.
So, but through this enactment of these laws, you see that it is not the business as usual again. And also, we also have some case laws to also buttress this fact. For instance, there's a case in Edo State, which is by name Isabono. In this case, this is to say that even religion, you will not say because of our religion says that we should execute you, we should kill you, then you go about doing that.
Okay.
Or to say because of the religious belief, such a thing should not be done, and you allow the person's life to go. Now, in this case, a parent took their little child to a hospital. When they got there, the hospital now diagnosed that the child needs blood transfusion. Now, in their own religion, they forbid, they are Jehovah's Witness members, they forbid blood transfusion. So, in the course of that, they declined.
Okay.
They refused that to be done. So, in order for the life of this child to be saved, the hospital has to obtain a court order. And through this court order, blood transfusion was administered onto this child, and the child survived. Then later on, the parent took action against the hospital. And this matter went up to Supreme Court. And then the Supreme Court says, if an adult decide not to be involved in blood transfusion, that the doctors or the hospital, they have no option than to obey
what
their patient's wishes.
Okay.
But if it relates to a child, that the reverse is the case, because a child is incapable of taking decision. So the the doctors have to do what they should do.
But
for the child to
sorry
survive.
for cutting words into your mouth. At that position or scenario right now, the parent has a say. The parent is the one taking the decision for a child or for the child.
No, they can't. The decision, why they cannot take decision over that, is because the life of the child is involved.
Okay.
Yes, because if they refused administering the blood transfusion onto the child, he is going to die. So now, in order not to allow it, then the court will come in. That was why the hospital has to obtain that court order to enable them to do what they did.
But I've seen also scenarios where maybe a patient is being rushed to the hospital, and maybe there is a car incident and someone is about losing his or her life, and there have been loss of blood and all of that. But then you see some hospitals who ends up at the position they're asking for money rather than saving the life of that person. And in situations, I've never for once seen a case where the government, or especially let's bring it to Nigeria, where the government of Nigeria will actually call that hospital out and say, oh, this person, or because of your recklessness or something, this person lost his or her life in your hospital. Now, I'd like our brother Idara here to say something.
Well, in that aspect, see, the problem is actually the system. The system in the sense that when we look at chapter 2 of the constitutions, there are certain things, including health of individuals, that the government supposed to provide for.
Okay.
Though in Nigeria is not justiciable.
Justified.
You cannot go to court for it. But ideally, these are things that should be provided for. Like you have brought out an instance where somebody is being rushed to the hospital, and because of money or whatever, if there's a health insurance, and probably the person has his or her health insurance document, such person is supposed to be taken care of naturally. Or in some developed societies, you see what we call national blood bank. It is there for emergency. And in a where a standard practice is being run, you see it that when a situation arises like that, and a patient needs blood, even when the relation are not there to provide for, they will draw the blood from the blood bank and transfuse to save the life.
Okay.
Because of the importance of the life.
Okay.
So it is. I know that
So you are saying that such incidents happen in a country where the law is not upheld in a proper state or
Exactly.
manner. All right, thank you so much,
That
sir.
is the short of it all is corruption.
Okay, we will still get back to that because there is a whole lot to discuss in this topic. Now, I want to bring in the issue of self-defense. Let me bring in Sister Juliet to this discussion. The issue of self-defense. You know, maybe there are two fighters, or maybe let's just use a criminal scene where someone is, you know, in his house and then robber just trooped in. So in the process of defending himself, or maybe there was a fight and the other person is trying to defend himself, you know, at the tail end, someone ends up losing his or her life, and another person is being convicted for a murder case. So in scenarios like that, how does, you know, the law of right to life come to play?
When you talk about self-defense is one of the remedies. Is a defense, you know, that can mitigate murder. So when you go to court, or when one is being charged, okay, from a murder case, and you get to the court and you're able to prove self-defense, the court will mitigate the judgment or the sentence of that defendant. So you cannot say because you were trying to defend yourself and as such you had to kill some other person. So the court will put into consideration so many factors, like maybe you were trying to defend yourself and you stab the person on the neck. Okay, self-defense cannot prevail, so it cannot come in. But if
in what scenarios that
if peradventure
does self-defense come to play or help?
Yes, when you talk about this scenario where self-defense comes in, is the gravity of the injury, like the gravity of the harm caused to the deceased. So you cannot say you just kill somebody and you put up self-defense and you be indicated. So the gravity of the harm caused to the deceased is what the court will put into consideration. I was giving you a scenario. I said, if you stab someone on the neck and the person dies, and you go to court and you say it's self-defense, self-defense may not vindicate you in that scenario. But if you stab the person on the hand, okay, and maybe the person was being taken to the hospital and the person peradventure died maybe few weeks later, self-defense can vindicate you. But when you stab the person on the neck and the person died instantly, self-defense cannot come in. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to explain.
Yes. I need to understand, and I also know that my audience would love to understand proper. Now, let's create a scenario. There was a movie I was watching, and now there is a young man. There were two brothers. One tried to pull the other person into a river, you know, a flowing stream. And then out of, I'm defending myself, or I'm trying not to fall in, you know, mistakenly or accidentally, I pushed the person inside, you know, inside the river, and the other person drowned. So now, in that scenario now, you as a lawyer, you were not there. You as a policeman, you were not there. But now the person will tell you, I was defending myself. He tried pushing me into the river, and I was able to, you know, protect myself from, you know, if not, is it that the other person goes or this other person goes? So in that scenario, what he did was self-defense. And now you're talking about the gravity of the injury. Okay, because, the person tried to kill me or, you know, cause harm on me, and I was able to inflict maybe a little wound on that person. You can only say that, that was in self-defense. The gravity of the injury is not much. But imagine the other person was trying to take the life of another person, and that person, in a bid to protect himself, you know, it leads to the other person losing life. So why would you also not call that self-defense? And then you're saying the gravity of the you know, the injury inflicted?
Generally, okay, generally, self-defense can actually prevail one, okay, from being sentenced, you know, or being given a death sentence. Generally, now when you get to court, okay, the court will look at the gravity. Like, okay, fine, this person was trying to kill you, but the person did not. Okay, he did not kill you, and you turned around and stabbed him on the neck or maybe the stomach, and he died instantly. Self-defense cannot prevail. So it is not in every circumstance. Yes, it is not in every, yeah, it's not in every circumstance that self-defense can actually prevail. If that would be the case, then people would just be killing people and just go to court and say it was out of self-defense. I was trying to defend myself and I killed him. So it's going to be an issue in the society. So it is not in all circumstances, yes, that self-defense can actually prevail you from a murder case. Because as my colleague earlier said, he said life is paramount. That is, right to life it's an inherent right. It's something that you have. So no one has the right to take it away. So if you're going by that definition, then you will understand that self-defense cannot prevail one in every circumstance.
All right, thank you so much, Sister Juliet. Now let's move ahead. We have the issue of capital punishment. You know, maybe, okay, still in the case of maybe someone actually committed a murder or maybe committed something so heinous that the person is being sentenced to death. And now we have the Nigerian Constitution of 1999, Section 33, which has already been discussed by Christ Ambassador Roland here. So now we understand that everyone has the right to live, and this must be protected by the law. Okay, I have here, let's bring it down to where I have the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights. So it says that every human being has the inherent right to live, and that this right must be protected by law. And I believe that the Nigerian Constitution also works in line with this. So now in a situation where someone actually committed a crime and now the person has to face a capital punishment, it could be sentenced to death, you know, or maybe something that will, you know, draw the life out of a person, as the people would say. So now, how does the right to life come to play in this aspect?
To life.
Is that for me?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Did you get my question?
Please take it again. Take the question again.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, that comes under exceptions. Someone's right to life can actually be terminated. It's an exception, okay, to right to life. Now, you have been found culpable or criminally liable, you know, for a particular offense, known to law, and a judgment is being passed, and that person is to be sentenced, like killed. Okay, so it cannot vitiate the right to life of that particular person, because that person has already been found guilty by the law. So it's an exception to the right to life that is being talked about in the 1999 Constitution.
So much, Sister Juliet. Christ Ambassador Roland, do you have something to add?
Okay, concerning the...
Yes, concerning what she said.
Yes, though I did not hear her very well because the system was very low.
I believe she said something about exception, that there are some exceptions to it.
There are exceptions because the provision for right to life is absolute.
Okay.
But there are also exceptions which are embedded in Section 33 sub 2 of the Constitution, 1999 Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended, which state that at say if you are, you know, being convicted of a crime, a criminal offense which you committed. Once you are found guilty and sentenced, then now you cannot be heard saying that your right to life has been breached, because already you have committed such an act. Then also, when you are being arrested on a lawful arrest, you know, and then they are trying to prevent you from escaping. You know, there's how you want to escape. You may even want to kill people, and then, so in the process, you can be shot, you can be killed in the process of doing that. And also when they are trying to suppress a riot, which you are involved. So whenever those areas are, you know, being indicated, then that right, your right to life will terminate.
Okay, there are some situations where we have seen is it open fire they call it. Sometimes maybe the citizens, they are carrying out a peaceful protest, but then, you know, the government of such, you know, group of persons, you know, engage in open fire. Is this ceasefire they call it, and all of that? So is there no punishment? Is there no punishment for that? Because they are breaching, you know, the Nigerian Constitution of perhaps the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights.
Yes, there is punishment for that, because everybody, every community, every country, every nation has right to protest when you are not satisfied of what is going on. So now for whoever comes to open fire, to kill, to take lives, then such a person should be prosecuted.
Okay.
Because it is against the law.
Okay.
You know, so you cannot do that and say it is lawful. It's unlawful. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, sir, do you have something to add?
Well, when we say right to life, we are trying to create a non-existing scenario biblically.
Okay.
Biblically. You know, when God created the world was void, no life. On the third day, he created herbs and grasses. On the fifth day, he created animals. On the seventh day, the last day, he created man and give life. Now, when Cain killed his brother, Abel, and Cain was afraid that people would kill him, what did God do? Because all this life you are saying, right to life, it does not exist. Life is a privilege from the Creator. It's a privilege from the Creator. No matter whatever we do, if the Creator says, I'm taking that life, and there's nothing we can do. Now, when Cain killed his brother, and Cain was afraid that people will kill him, what did God say? God placed a curse on whoever will kill Cain. He placed curse on whoever will kill Cain. Now, when Adam and Eve ate in the garden, what did God do? Did God kill Adam and Eve? No! He tolerated them. He gave them the grace to live. The only thing that he shortened the lifespan of man. Probably a man will have lived forever. But God now says that till your days on earth. That was only when we now, God now says that limited the lifespan of man. So, issue of right to life, personally, it does not exist. Because my life, the life of even animals in the bush, and everything belongs to God.
So you are saying that when it comes to human on earth,
yes,
the concept of the right to life does not exist.
It should not.
But, okay, it should not.
It should not,
because
don't you
his
think,
own opinion.
Yes, yes. I know it's in your own opinion. I'm coming.
Yes.
I know it's in your own opinion. But don't you think the world would have been a chaotic
Exactly.
environment. Because, I'm coming, sir, because you have clearly stated that it should not exist. That means you can actually take my life anytime you want to, and I can, maybe you just, wait, I'm coming. You just did something to me that provoked me, and before you know it, whatever I see hits on you, something, and you collapse, and the next thing, it keeps going on. Have you tried to, look at how the world will be with that mindset at this point?
Let me come in there.
Okay.
What I'm saying centers on the capital punishment
Okay.
that institutions, government impose
Okay,
when somebody err or when somebody do anything that deserve, by their own definition, deserve capital punishment.
Okay, so you're saying government should not. Such should be abolished.
Should be abolished. Okay. You see, God punished Adam in a different way. God punished Cain in a different way.
Okay.
And what was the essence of the correctional center, the prisons? You can put them there forever. Everybody values their liberty.
Is still not? You're coming there. Please, sir, we are working with time.
Yes.
Because you are saying you should put them there forever.
Yes.
You're still not.
Oh, no, you are not killing them.
All right, let me come. So
you are not killing them. You are not taking their life.
Okay. We have these several countries in this part of Africa that we will still be considering when we are talking about the right to life. For example, South Africa Constitution of 1996, Section 11, says everyone has the right to life. This right is absolute and the death penalty is abolished. I know that goes in line with what you're saying. And of course, we understand that of Nigeria.
Yes.
So Nigeria, just like I said, Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, its constitution of 1999, as amended in section 33, every person has the right to life, and no one shall be deprived intentionally of this life. But government, sometimes they take it intentionally. Pardon me. All right, so now, save in execution of the sentence of a court in the respect of a criminal offense of which he has been found guilty. Now, it still states that the death penalty is still legal, but subject to due process. I believe you explained something like that. Yes. Now, from Kenya, the Constitution of Kenya of 2010, Article 26, every person has the right to live, or has the right to life, and this life begins at conception. Now we have to look at that. So it explicitly restricts abortion unless the health of the mother is at risk. And when you come to Nigerian Constitution, please, sir, you have to correct me. Sister Juliet, you also have to correct me if I'm wrong. Nigerian Constitution of 1999, as amended, like we're looking at, there is no provision, legal provision for abortion in cases of rape, incest, or fetal impairment. And now these issues, these issues now, you see sometimes, maybe the person subjected to rape is about, 10 years, is about 15 years, depending on the age that person can actually get pregnant. So in issues where such thing happens, what happens? What is the state of the mother in that process? Remember, we're still talking about the right to life. I would like to bring Christ Ambassador Roland today.
Thank you so much. Yes, talking about, we are now on abortion.
Okay.
Talking about abortion, you have to consider three things. Let me say three schools of thought. The first school of thought is a pro-life. This pro-life, that is the activist who kick against abortion.
Okay.
Now, they believe that a child starts from the womb. When the child is formed as a fetus in the mother's womb, that the life of a child begins there.
Okay.
So they kick against aborting that child. That once you do that, then you have committed murder. Now, the second school of thought is a pro-choice. That's to say, let the mother, the person who carries the baby, has her own decision whether to keep the pregnancy or not.
Okay.
Now, this particular school of thought, they permit abortion.
Okay.
Especially in such conditions that we are talking about.
Okay, such
maybe through rape.
Okay.
Through rape. So you don't need the child because you may not know the father of the child, or maybe because of your health and whatever, or you are not ready
Okay.
Now they permit. They believe that a child does not start when the child is still in the womb.
Conceived.
That until when the child is independently taken out of the mother's womb alive,
Okay.
that is when the child will now have a life to be taken. So even if you commit abortion while the child is still in the fetus, then it does not mean that you have committed murder. Then the third aspect is our own law, which is section 307 of the Criminal Code. That says that it supports the pro-choice, which says that a child can only be capable of being a child, a living being, when it is independently brought out from the mother's womb alive. That's when the child
In our
died.
constitution, is that
No,
what is that?
criminal code.
Okay, criminal code.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
That when the child is brought out alive, that is when you attribute life to that child. Then if such a child is killed at that period, then it means you have committed abortion.
Okay.
So now when you consider all this, you see that the pro-choice and the criminal code supported abortion, whereas the pro-life did not. And also the Bible did not.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the Bible did not, especially the everlasting gospel,
Okay.
which our father already told us that abortion is murder. Our father even said, even when you fornicate with a woman, and then instead of releasing the sperm into the woman, you release it into maybe condom or whatever, you've already committed abortion. I mean, a murder by doing that. So that is it.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Please,
Well,
sir, do you have something to add?
if I may add there,
Okay.
some of our statutes, like Child Rights Act of Akwa Ibom State, make provision that from the conception, I may not know, even the woman may not know the concept when she conceived, except about 28 days pass, that if any drug is being administered, those that administer the drug, including the woman,
the woman herself,
And the
yes,
medical
and
practitioner.
medical personnel
Eh,
have committed an offense.
wow.
Meaning that protection of life as per abortion even goes to support what is written in Genesis 38 verses 10 to 12 in conjunction with the Father's gospel. You see, there was this man in the Bible that the first son died, the second son died, the second son, well, his name is, I think, Er. When the first son married, he could not have a child.
Okay.
As their custom then, the second son have to take over. The second son now have this malicious intention that if I procreate with the wife of my brother, his name is Honor. His name is Honor. That if I procreate with the wife of my brother, that child will belong to my brother. So on the process, he threw away the sperm on the ground. And God killed him.
Exactly.
Wow.
Instantly.
Wow.
God killed him instantly. That shows that is in tandem with the Father's gospel. And what the Child Rights Act of Akwa Ibom State is saying.
Okay.
So, to me, all other definitions of abortion, you see, when we talk of law, God is the greatest lawgiver. All the law emanates from God. And before you can have a sound law, go back to the Bible, go back to the Creator, and see how the Creator laid the foundation. It is only when you follow what the Creator laid foundation, that is the only way you can have a good law. Not to make a law to satisfy me or immediate people, but the divine law which source is from the Creator, is the only law that can give us peace and maintain the society with little or no much problem, because most of the laws or the human approach to law is what is creating more problems for mankind.
Okay.
So that is my own contribution.
All
there.
right. Thank you so much, Brother Idara. Now, before we call it a break, so let's look at the teachings. Now, the right to life let's look at it extensively, what the Father teaches when it comes to the right to life. Let me come back to Brother Idara. Can you look at it extensively, the Holy Father's teachings on the right to life?
Yes. The Holy Father, in several of his Gospels, being the Creator, the Alpha and Omega, he knows all. He knows what he wants, has extensively taught us on what life really entails, our limitation to life. Like the example you just gave, the Father in several of his Gospels, like what my learned colleague has said here, concerning a man using condom.
Sorry, sir, I will not attend such words.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, yes. Concerning
Protection.
any form of protection.
Yes.
Any form of protection. Because that spermatozoa is created by God. It is living. It has life. Just like God himself has said that we should not kill even animals. We may take animals to be very common, but when he gave man food, it was the herbs and not animal. God so much valued the life of all what he created. All what he created. He so much valued it in such a way that man eat herbs and not follow animal like you.
Okay.
Though we are, we may say we are higher animals.
Okay.
So, in all the Father's teaching to us, in all ramification, is how we can protect and preserve life, which he himself, when he saw that man has had so much, have gone out, he even have to send his son Christ to die, the supreme, just to preserve life.
You know, if you're bringing in that scenario, thank you so much, Brother Idara, if you're actually bringing in that scenario, how can you justify the aspect of our Lord Jesus Christ giving his life for the redemption of mankind? Still on the aspect of right to life. He brought it up.
Exactly.
So I would like you to help with the explanation on that.
Yes. You know, like I said earlier on, though the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ to sacrifice, it is his own will that he should undergo that. Though the people that executed him, they have offended the law. They've offended the law.
But you
now,
said he accepted.
He accepted
but now
to die, but now, because nobody is given right to intentionally take away another person's life. So them that executed him, they should come before the law.
Okay. All right, please, sir, I'm coming. Please, sir, because we are already working with time. So now, in the issue of maybe, is it suicide or homicide? The issue of suicide. So how does the right to life, how does the law, breach this aspect? Maybe someone killed himself, how does the law come to play in this aspect? Still on the right to life.
No, if you kill yourself, you have no... If you kill yourself, you succeed in killing yourself. There's no law against that. But if you attempt to kill yourself and you fail,
Okay,
that
you
is when
fail.
the
You
law will
pay
come
for it.
after
Okay,
you.
we'll come after
Yes.
person. Okay, that sounds good. All right, so let's proceed. Now let's look at some of the majors, because we have been talking about this right to life. We have looked at it in, brought in contemporary issues, and now let's look at the remedies so far. So how can we prevent, or prevent harm going to, vulnerable people? I'll still like CA Roland to say something.
Okay, please repeat it.
Okay, the question is, what measures can we take to prevent harm from going to vulnerable persons?
By applying the law.
Okay.
That's to say, such a person does not have the ability to protect him or herself, then the law is there. That is why we are all answerable to the state. When a criminal offense is committed against anybody, it is not between that person and the victim. And the accused or the defendant.
Okay.
But it is between the defendant and the state, which is a government. So now government has to, set up modalities. There are laws on ground, but let them be these enforcement modalities to enforce. Like now, when we were talking from beginning, you made mention of if a group of persons is, protesting, and then they are being shot and killed. Now, it is not my place to go and start fighting. It is the government. Because at that point now, them who are killed in that process, they need the government to come to help.
So what if it's the government now that is taking the action?
Then the government too should be
we should be held accountable.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because they swore oath of allegiance
and
to protect the country, to protect the nation, the citizens, and security. So they should be punished for that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Okay, now in a situation where a judge is criminally liable for his wrongful acts, or is a judge, let me rephrase the question, is a judge criminally liable for his wrongful acts or omission? I would like CA Idara to say something about that.
That goes to provisional hazard.
Wow, okay.
Provisional hazard. But fortunately, the judge sitting there is dispensing state function.
Yes.
And he has an immunity. Without the immunity, the law has provided an immunity that he is not answerable to any decision, whether the decision is right or wrong. He's not answerable. It's the state that is answerable. And the state is only answerable at the situation that some decision of the court, as well as some decision that sounds, that doesn't support the cohesion of the society, it's left for the House of the legislatures to go and amend the law.
Okay.
Because the judge himself is not giving sentence or passing conviction or doing anything from his own end. He's applying the law that is in existence.
Okay, let's say in the issue of wrong investigation, maybe there was no adequate or proper investigation carried out.
Yes.
And now the judge in question who presided over the case, gave a verdict using maybe the constitution or the law of the state or the country at that point.
Yes.
So what you say is also, he should be convicted for, his own wrongful act.
No. I said he has immunity.
The law is all.
Okay.
You cannot do him anything. Man cannot do him anything.
Wow.
It's only
God
that may know whether what he did is right or wrong.
Okay.
But for man, you cannot do him anything. But he's applying the law.
Okay.
And it's not even his duty.
Yeah.
If the other arms of the government fail to do what they're supposed to do, it doesn't concern him.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
It is provided in criminal code, Section 31. Yes.
Okay, it
Of
says that
criminal
the judge is liable for
He's not
immunity.
liable.
He's not
He's not
liable,
liable,
for
yes.
any criminal
Yes.
or wrongful act or
Exactly.
omission. All right, so he's following that of the states or the
But I may
country
add
as
something there.
amended.
I may add something.
Please, sir. What?
You see, in trial, there are stages. Court of first instance, you can go on appeal. You can go on appeal depending on where you started.
Yeah.
Probably, in the chain of the appeal, if the judge at the lower
Court.
court has made a mistake, it can be corrected upstairs.
Okay.
So that is a buffer, sort of a buffer. So that if there's any wrong, if it goes up, it may be correct. That's why you can see a situation that court of first instance give a judgment, second instance upheld it, third instance upheld it, but when you go to the Supreme Court, the judgment is being set aside.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so
there's
much.
provision for
There's provision for
corrections.
all that for corrections. Okay, thank you so much, Christ Ambassador Idara Ebu, and of course, Christ Ambassador Roland Osim, and to our beautiful and wonderful sister, Her Eminence Juliet Emeke, who was here with us, and of course, she spoke very, very beautifully on the questions we asked her. All right, so the topic for this episode we discussed was the right to life, legal issues, and of course remedies. And I believe that you have learned one or two from all what that have been said here. Sorry, I know the timing today was quite short, but we believe to come up with more interesting topic come next week, Friday, same time, same station. So make sure you don't change that there whenever it's Friday, 7 p.m. Nigerian time. So this is how far we can go on this particular episode of the Rectum Continuous Legal Education. Until we meet again, do have a beautiful, beautiful day and enjoy the rest of the program. Bye for now.